crystals and minerals.
Yeah, and I am an events organizer. I put on spiritual events, especially African spiritual events. I work as a dressmaker, and Sarah and I have been working together now. Well, if we look over the time of Hub and Culture, is it like 2 years? Would you say? I'm so confused. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like 2 years that we've been working together one way or another. And this year we determined to really, we determined to really live by the phases of the moon. And once we started talking about it, lots of people started asking us questions. So we decided to actually put on these events for the rest of this year, um, highlighting the full moon and the new moon phases, and yeah, just what it looks like to really steer your decision making and action points around the new moon and full moon. So we're actually going to begin today with a meditation from Sara.
Queer, have you frozen?
Oh, so I can see everybody else moving.
Yeah, you're back on now.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Because yeah, I can see everybody else moving. Please mute yourself if you're not muted. Just for the meditation. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Sarah, please take it away.
Right. Are we back on? Yeah. Right, Aquia, I can't. Right, let me know if you can. Well, I know me okay. Or put their thumbs up so I can see. Put your volume on. Yes, I can hear you from Paula. Aquia, can you? Yeah, Mel can hear me. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I just want everybody to just in silence release just one thing that you want to release right now. Once you have decided on what you want to release, I just want you to close your eyes. Just breathe in and out. Concentrate on your breathing. Okay. Now, I would like you to take one big deep breath in. Make sure you fill your lungs completely and your stomach. has swollen with the air. And then release. Deep breath in again. 5. And release for 6 seconds. Deep breath in again. And then release. This one, take a deep breath in, and release with a sigh. One more time. Big deep breath. And release with a sigh. And from now, I want you to concentrate on your breathing, and I still want you to continue with breathing in as hard as you can and release slowly through your nose. Again, through your nose, big deep breath, and out through your nose, very slow. If you can't do it through your nose, do it through your mouth. It's not a problem at all. We just keep concentrating on our breath. Feel your body relaxing. For every breath you take, your body will relax even more. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Clear your mind of any thoughts. Now I want you to visualize a dark room, and in front of you there is a door. I want you to walk to the door and open the door. As you open the door, visualize a long stream. There could be trees, there could be sand, whatever pops into your head. So it's a big open space, a beautiful blue stream. Hear the water running, the birds singing. Take a little walk along the stream. And I want you to find the biggest log. And I want you to sit on the log, just gazing into the water, just clearing your thoughts. Have a look around. Have a look up to the bright blue sky, all the trees, the bushes, even the sand, if that's what you're visualizing. And I want you to sit there and think about one thing that you have been grateful for in the last few days. Open up your hands in front of you and visualize a beautiful white coming down and sitting on your hands. Keep thinking about what you are grateful for. Let the white light dissolve through the palms of your hands, up your arms, Let the white light travel through to your chest, down to your belly, down to your hips, down towards your knees and your feet. Now you want to ground yourself, allowing the light to shine through your feet and be connected to the ground. When you are grounded, the light will then travel all the way through, up towards your neck, around into your head, and out through your crown chakra. Visualize this bright light surrounding you around the log, and this light is a light of protection. At this point, I would like you to release just one sentence of anything that pops into your head that you would like to release right now. You can say it in your mind or you can say it out loud. Now repeat. Repeat again. And at this point, you have let out what you would like. And with that, I would like you to allow this bright white light travel back through your body into the palm of your hands. Once this white light is shining in the palm of your hands, release it out to the universe. Again, repeating what stand up towards the door that you came from. I would like you to close the door behind you and then slowly start wiggling your body, your fingers, your toes, and open your eyes. And now hopefully you should feel really, really relaxed and you have started one of your rituals for the day. So everybody can come back on now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll turn off my light here. So this next slide that's come up now is actually all the moon phases throughout February, which is the month that we're in now. And you can Google and actually download a lunar calendar for the month. And it's really helpful because you can make your plans, and certain things you can't, no, they will be revealed when they need to be revealed. They'll be planned when they need to be planned. But there are other things that you can start to actually arrange and follow and reveal them according to how the moon is being. So we start off normally in a dark moon. I mean, it's cyclical, so it doesn't really matter where you start, but just because we had to start somewhere, we start off in the dark moon. So the dark moon is really that first day and a half when you cannot see the moon. That then goes into the new moon. So very often you'll hear people saying about the new moon, and it's only because one phase goes into the other one. And the dark moon is like a breath inwards. It's a time for you to really, really go deep, rest, meditate, and kind of ruminate on the things that have happened to you, what's going on, what things need to be brought up into the light. And we get two periods of time during the moon where it's the moon cycle where it's really good to rest, and this is one of them. So the new moon then starts a day and a half, if you like, into the third day before you see the crescent moon. And this is a time you're still in that state of meditating, thinking through things, but now you're really coming into, okay, what do I want to manifest in the next moon cycle? So it's a great time to plan for what you want to create. Do any new moon rituals. Be thinking through your ideas and really, really thinking what it is that you want. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to Sara, and she's going to tell us about some new moon rituals that you can actually do to help you towards deciding what it is that you want.
So with the new moon itself, we do a talk in the shop. And with the new moon's all about new beginnings. It's about setting your intentions and long-term goals. Now, with that, on the actual new moon itself, it's a time where you can do different rituals, and it could be as simple as declutter, some housework to clutter things, get rid of things that doesn't need to be in your house anymore. Even a spring clean, it doesn't matter. It could be as simple as just making yourself a herbal tea, having a lovely bath, and it's just sitting there and thinking about what you want to achieve. And the new moon that was in February, it was a time where you would be setting goals for like the next 6 months. So there could be like 10 things that you want to achieve, or it could be one. So you would sit there and think about what you want to do. You could journal, you could write it down what you want to achieve. But the most important thing to do with a new moon, for me personally, it's different for other people, is to sit there and take yourself in a quiet place for about half an hour, and sage, cleanse your space, light a white candle. And while you're doing that, write down all your manifestations, what you want to achieve, put down your goals. And with this, it's a case of keeping that little bit of paper, because what you want to do is that you want to think about this every single day through to the next cycle, or when you think that these are achieving. And by doing that, there's certain ways to fold your bit of paper that you've written on. So you would fold it towards you once, you would turn it, you would fold it again towards you, turn it to the right again. So everything that you're doing on this day will be in freeze. Everything is done in freeze. Paper would be folded 3 times. And once you've folded that, just put thank you. You're setting that intention, and you could put that in a little pouch, and carry it around with you. You could put it in your bag, you could put it underneath your pillow and leave it there for the cycle. And every so often, just go back to it and see what you could do differently to set that first goal that you wanted to achieve. So literally, the new moon is all about new beginnings, what you want to achieve. And then you would then move forward to then obviously you're going around in the lunar cycle, doing different things to prompt yourself to make sure throughout that month that you've achieved 1 or 2 things that are on your list. I always work on one because I don't want to overload myself with too many manifestations. I mean, I would love a house. I would love all my debts paid. I would love a big holiday. I would love it all. But you're overloading yourself with targets and dreams that at the moment cannot be put into place. It has to be something very simple for you to then move on to the next stage to build it up. Because don't forget, whatever you're setting between the January month and the February month is basically for the next 6 months to even the year. Get yourself a vision board and put everything that you want to manifest on a vision board. So when you wake up, you see it. That is your start of your lunar. That is your setting your intentions of what you want to achieve within the year.
And
So that's
new moon.
there's loads of different rituals that you can do exactly the same as what you would do on a full moon. But I'll get to that once we go into the full moon because I really, really want to dig deep in the rituals with the full moon. And then we'll have questions at the end. But yeah, it is basically setting your intentions, new beginnings, new starts, what you want to achieve.
And also, what you can do with your new moon intention setting is you can do things like have a short-term plan, so something that you want to come into fruition by the new moon, that's by the full moon that's coming. You can have a 3-month plan, so you're thinking about it, so you're going then for a longer cycle, and each full moon there's some element that you're looking to bring to life, but maybe you're not finishing the project yet. You can have 5-year plans even, where you're starting that thinking process, so you're thinking always in cycles, some of them just 2 weeks, some of them 4 weeks, and on and on and on. So then as you come out of the new moon time, you come to the waxing crescent. So that's when you've got that small sliver. So this is the time to really push forward with your dreams, the things that you set in place with the new moon. So it's really a time of planning, visualizing, really interrogating the plans that you want as well. And sometimes there can be some anxiety that comes up in this time, because you might have started to speak to a few people and you're either thinking what could go wrong, but not to worry, because you're still only planning. It's okay. Things will come up, and that's good. You can think of solutions. From there, you move into the quarter moon, and each phase is lasting around 3.5 days, roughly. And here, you've answered some of your questions that have come up from that plan. You need to be identifying challenges, coming up with solutions of what to do, and finding the people that can help you, identifying the institutions if that's what needs to be, starting telephone calls, starting emails, starting to have meetings. In the waxing gibbous, you're moving towards the full moon now. And really, the short term plans, now you've set dates. Maybe there's phone calls, a big phone call that needs to be made, maybe a big presentation that needs to be made. You might have a cycle that started 3 months ago, and you'd been looking at, when do we launch? Well, around about this time you're thinking, yeah, let's go for it for the full moon that's coming, because that's a big time of release. So this is a really, really good time to just look at stuff that you've got going on. Some things that are really, really in the planning stage, you don't need to worry about them during this time. You can rest those, because really you're looking at what it is that you're looking to manifest. And then you get to the full moon. The full moon, as I was explaining, the sun is fully on one side of the moon, so we see her perfect roundness. So it's the moon, it acts on our emotions. We're 60 or 70% water, depending on who you listen to. And as we know, the moon affects the tides. So if it's affecting tides, it affects us. There's the Farmer's Almanac, which teaches you when to plant by the cycles of the moon. And for thousands of years, human beings all over the planet realized that actually when they planted by the cycles of the moon, you had much higher crops and stuff. So it works that we should do the same thing. So the full moon time is really the time of revelation. Now, revelation can be good revelation, it can be bad revelation. Whatever kind of revelation it is, it's information that's actually coming to us. So we've all heard, I'm sure, that back in the day there was the idea of people going mad, lunatics going mad in the full moon, because it's acting on our emotions and it's a time for things to come out. So it's a brilliant time for releasing rituals. It's a brilliant time for forgiveness. And I always say forgiveness, if you start it from yourself, it's so much easier. We're not talking about kind of ignoring things that may be going wrong, um, giving people a pass. No, it's really about looking at where is it that you're being tough on yourself? Where is it that maybe you need to forgive yourself? And after forgiveness comes gratitude, because in that release, you can start to be really, really grateful. When we come to this present full moon, Sarah's going to talk about specific rituals to do with the full moon that we're entering now. And so the main thing to say about the full moon is, if people are going mad at you, for try and find the common thread, because it's information. You deal with it however you need to deal with it, but on your own, you can try and find what is it that's coming out from people towards me. Is there a common link in all of this? Is this showing me an aspect of myself that I need to change? Or how am I being to people? Is this a reasonable way for me to be to people? Is there something I need to change about myself? Then the waning phases is as the moon is starting to get smaller. So in this stage, you might still be doing presentations, you might still be revealing, because there's still a lot more of the moon available. It's only a slither of it that's gone. But if you can, this is a great time to actually rest and accept the situation that you find yourself in, and see what lessons are to be learned from the full moon. So if you are in the lucky position of being able to schedule your own time, it's really good to look at the map, look at your diary, and schedule in a rest for the start of the waning gibbous, so that you can actually take that time to reevaluate what's been happening. The last quarter, you're still in that phase of accepting that you're kind of like half and half now. So it's a time to change direction if need be. Carry on as you are, see what else needs to be picked up, see what things you want to push into the dark moon phase. In the waning crescent, you're now really slowly starting to come into that new moon. So you're really needing to identify, okay, what do I want to take into my dark moon? What do I want to work on? What other things are going on in my life that actually now I need to really be doing some big thinking about? So you're really moving into that dark moon phase, and then back again into the dark moon that we talked about, and then we start it all over again. So this full moon that we've got today is a Virgo full moon. So there are some people that this is great for, and there's some people that it's not absolutely optimum for, but it's giving information to everybody. So the people that it's really great for are Capricorn, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, and Pisces. And really, really good for people who've got Virgo rising or are Virgo, because it's illuminating the aspects of all aspects of Virgo. Now, like everything, there's, if you like, the positive and negative, or the helpful and the slightly unhelpful. So it's an energy that also carries a certain amount of anxiety. Now, I'll just have to say, excuse me if you suddenly hear a voice, because my brother's supposed to collect a sofa, and I think he's finally come to collect the sofa. So, actually, what I'm going to do is, Sara, I'm going to mute myself. Can you start talking about the full moon ritual for this month? And I can just tell my brother about
Yeah,
taking the
no
baby
worries. I'll
sofa.
go through it.
Okay.
Right, okay. So picking up from where Aquia was, I just wanted just on the lunar cycle. So again, starting from the beginning of your cycle, which is the new moon. It's all about new beginnings, setting intention and long-term goals. The wax is all about manifestation, action, and planning. The first quarter is overcoming obstacles, finding your balance, and maintaining momentum as well. Then you go into the waxing gibbon. It's all about determination, patience, and just being aware of the people around you and your surrounding. And then you come to halfway, which is the full moon. So full moon is about fulfillment, gratitude. It's very, very high energy. It's the highest energy you're going to get throughout the lunar cycle, which is always on a full moon. So within that 2 weeks of the new moon and the full moon, it's all about setting your goals. You are going to come, like Aquia said, across people that will be negative to you. You're going to be stressing over work. You're going to be stressing about overall life changes within that cycle. So if you do get that within that 2 weeks, this is the time for you on the full moon to release. And that's the whole point. That whole 2 weeks of anything that you've been dealing with, today is the day where you will release that. Once you've released that, that will take you into the warning given, which is cleansing your space, cleansing you, cleansing your home. Continue to let go and close it, shut it, because what you want to do is you want to set your boundaries for the next 2 weeks, work with your transition and work with forgiveness. So whatever's gone on in that 2 weeks, you just want to let go, you want to forgive, and you want to move on, because then it will take you into the warning crescent, which is all about recovery, self-care, and reflection. So you want to reflect on the month that you've had, what you could, what people that are draining you, what situations that you need to change. It's all about reflecting to move on, because then you're going to come up to the new moon again. And the new moon again is setting new boundaries, new beginnings, new settings, and that will continue every single month. Every single month you're going to come across that, and it's just sitting there and taking the time to actually go through what you want to achieve, what your boundaries were, who done what to you, what your work done to you, what your life daily stresses have done to you, to try and change it for the following month. And as you see, each month you'll see it become even better. And that's the whole point of the planning, and the full moon and the new moon. It's all about planning and setting yourself. So the full moon at the minute in Virgo is a time to heal from the weeks ago. It's a time to sit with any pain that you've had, any heartache you've had, and deal with and sit and think, you can forgive yourself for, have compassion for yourself, think about what you want to let go, if it's people, if it's money, if it's daily stresses, anything that you want to let go of, this is the time. And you can just write it down on a bit of paper, You can act upon things if you wanted to on the actual day. So it would have started tomorrow. The full moon cycle would have started tomorrow. The full moon is at its highest today, and then you can do whatever you need to do tomorrow. It's all about letting go, putting yourself first, taking care of yourself mentally and physically. It's not about anybody else but yourself. You will have people that's going to push your patience. You're going to have, you're going to sit there and think, oh, I need to do this in my house and I need to do that. No, let it go. This is a time for you. Go and treat yourself to something in the shops. Go and sit there and open yourself a nice bottle of brandy or whiskey and put your music on and dance and make yourself a beautiful herbal tea. Run a hot bubble bath. It's your time. It's all about your self-care. And it's just to let you know that this full moon, because of the cycle that it's in, we're coming out of a really dark stage that was put in from October. It was a really dark place for a lot of people. Christmas was very difficult because of the way the cycle in the zodiac was working. It was a very difficult time at Christmas. So now is the time to put the seeds in, to release everything, the trauma that you've been through, everything that you've been dealing with over the last few months. Release it, really release it. And it's a really tiny moon. It's one of the tiniest moons this year. It's a micro moon. Because it's the complete opposite to the sun. It's absolutely tiny. So that is what I would like to say about that. And a lot of people around the world deal with all look at the same moon. The world is looking at the same moon, but all different cultures do things differently, and everybody calls the snow moon, which what it is, it's a snow moon because it's a winter month around the northern hemisphere. That's when you get the most snow, the coldest months of the year. So they call it the snow moon. But in other cultures, they name it after like animals, like the eagle moon, the bear moon, the black bear moon, the raccoon moon. There's all different types of moons that they call it for this year because it represents so much, because it's such a great moon to have at the moment. So a lot of people at the moment that are like, there's a lot of myths, legends, rituals that people do. And again, one of them is dancing. At this time, it's dancing. It's releasing all that negativity that's been building up in your body over the last few months. Release it, shake your body, release it, put the music on. And a lot of cultures do that. A lot of cultures, especially in tribes, do a big bonfire and they dance, they play music because they want to release. And a lot of people in some cultures, especially over the New Year, the Chinese New Year, they light lanterns, let the lanterns go, because it's such a good time to release as well your cardio system, your breathing, the way we talk. It all comes again, like we were saying, we're made of water. So it's about our body as well, not only just about our mental health and our moods and our cycles. It's about letting go of all the trauma, anything that we've been through. Yeah, forgive, forget, and release. It's really, really important. I'm going to let Akua just go over some more things, and then I'm going to go into rituals that you can do. I'm just literally going to run and get my charger to put on for the laptop, and then I'll be back.
No problems. So this Virgo moon, thank you so much, Sara, for that. So this Virgo moon is really, apologies for sorry. They're getting louder and louder as they're coming up the stairs. I am, just to give some background, I'm moving to Ghana for 5 months to buy a book So the house is slowly being to write a book. So the house is slowly being emptied over this period of time. So excuse any noises that you may hear. So this Virgo moon is a really, really interesting one because it's really the energies of Virgo that's being highlighted in everybody's charts. So it can feel a little bit anxious making because the Virgo energy is the energy that crosses all the T's and dots all the I's. That's a great thing if you're planning something and you've got a Virgo with you. You know, they are going to make sure that everything that needs to be done gets done. But the other side of that energy is an anxiousness, looking for where's there a problem? Where's there a problem? So that's an energy that's going to be around for all of us. So it's good and it's bad. The good side of it is for some of us who are, for myself, I'm really talking about an air sign, I can be about the bigger picture. And actually, I need some of this kind of energy to really get me looking at the fine details. Now, if you're somebody who's already a fine detailed person, this energy, if you're not careful, can really push you into getting lost in the detail and totally forgetting about the big picture. So this is a good time for you to, for everyone to analyze what's coming up for me. You know, am I being too focused on the little things? Then you realize, okay, I need to pull back from that. And then for people like me, I'm getting pulled up about the details because I'm all about the bigger plans. So this is a good energy for me to write down that actually I need to pay more attention to the fine details. Virgo is also about community and family. So it's a good time to look at what's coming up for you about community and family. Have you not been in touch with the family that often? Maybe it's time to do that. What else can you be doing in the community? Or maybe you're being pulled into the community some more. So it's a good time to look at all of that. Some of the questions that I wrote down that I thought is really good for this full moon time and to meditate on even tonight as you do some of your rituals is, where am I obsessing or worrying? What are people doing or not doing that are getting on my nerves? Where am I being judgmental to myself or others? Have I done enough for others or am I doing too much? That could really be coming up for people where they're putting themselves last instead of putting themselves first. Um, and then have I crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's in the things that I want to do going forward? Or am I getting lost in the details? That's the kind of questions that we want to really be into as we're trying to sort out what it is that we want from this particular full moon. So if you have a presentation to make today or over the next 3 or 4 days, you really want to be interrogating your plan from that Virgo energy point of view. And if you're finding that something that should have been ready yesterday, today, Sunday, Monday, is still not ready, maybe you're getting a bit too lost in the finer details. So, go online, go onto YouTube, bring up a video about Virgo and just listen and see, where am I either displaying all of this or some of this, or where should I be displaying some of this or all of this? And that's the best way I find of using the different full moon energies. It's really in the finer details of what you're doing. And then the main lessons that come out for you, because for each person it's going to be really individual. That's to keep on, if you have a vision board, that's to keep on your vision board, because this month is giving you information for the rest of the year in terms of what to do more of and what to do less of. And that's the most important thing about working with the phases of the moon. Let me just see if Sara is back. And we'll move to the next one. Okay, so during this time as well, it's really also about looking for balance. And especially as we're starting to, when we start to come out of this full moon time, is also using it to analyze, because you've got that power of being able to dissect and go deep. You can really use it to analyze things, even if it's something that you're not looking like another plan, something else that you've got to do. You're not looking to be in full fruition with this full moon, but you do want to use that energy of the Virgo full moon to analyze stuff. It's brilliant. Give yourself some hours to analyze some of your plans, things that you've got going on. How are they doing? Are there some other things that just need a bit of organization? Spend a little bit of time coming into that. And then I put in yellow the receive the truth that is coming from others. Yeah, and it's not always easy to hear certain things that people have to say about us, or what's coming out from your boss at work, your children. If there's anybody who's going to tell you the truth about yourself, it's your children and your siblings. And this is the time to listen to those things. It doesn't mean that they are always right, but it is giving you information. And what you do with that information can be quite private. You don't have to spill your guts to everybody who's telling you everything. It's information for you to use as the days go on and the moon starts waning and you go into your restful stage. That's the best time to use the information that you had come through in the new moon. So, Sara, are you back to talk about the rituals? Okay, she might not be back, so I'm going to talk about mine, the rituals that I do, the release rituals that I do. So I do the writing down. So I'm a list person, and I have notebooks that I've managed to actually find one at the start of this year from Poundland, and it had short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. And I've been filling it out. And so I've been using that in combination with the phases of the moon. So what I like to do is copy some elements from my diaries and journals, and then I will do a releasing ritual. So I'll do a self-forgiveness ritual. So a self-forgiveness ritual for me is meditating. So tonight I'll do a meditation, and then I will have a spiritual cleanse, which is for this one that I'm going to do, I'm only using bay leaves and lavender and hyssop. Bay leaves, lavender, and hyssop, the three. I put the herbs together in a tea bag. I don't know if anyone on here has visited our shop when we do the pop-up in Kentish Town. There will usually be some tea bags for sale that's got different herbs mixed inside of it. So I will put the herbs, and you can use whatever herbs that you like. Lavender is always brilliant to use because it's so calming, and it really helps you in that process of letting things go. So what I do is the tea bag I will put in a bowl, add hot water to it, leave it in there to seep, let the color, let the smells come out. I will have a shower. I don't have a bath in my house, so I have to have a shower. I will have a shower, and then while I'm having the shower, I'm really thinking about I forgive myself, I forgive all of the wrongs that have come my way during this month, and I accept in the lessons that are to be learnt from everything that's come up. And at the end of the shower, I've got my bowl of water that's got the herbs inside, and that's the last thing I tip over my head, and I'll let the shower go. Oh, I'll let the shower just go over my head, and I'm watching everything go down the drain. So everything I'm letting go of and the herbs that are cleansing me are going down the drain. That's what I like to do. And then after I've cleaned myself off, the list that I've got of the things that I'm letting go of that month, I will burn that in the kitchen sink. And for me, that's one of the best things that I like to do at the end. Burn it in the kitchen sink. When I finish everything, and I'll make myself a hot chocolate, and I'm really thinking about it in terms of like a cacao ceremony. So I'm staying very quiet during that time. And then what I'll do is, as I'm drinking the hot chocolate, that's when I'm thinking of my gratitude, all the things that I'm grateful for, because I've let go all of the things I want to let go. And now I'm really thinking of what is it I'm grateful for, what has come into my life over the last cycle, the successes that have come through the manifestation. I like to give thanks for the lessons as well that have come through, the difficult conversations that had to be had. And then I'll also be thinking of maybe there's some more conversations that need to be had, some people that I need to say thank you to. And really, that's my gratitude and my release ritual that I like to go through. I think Sarah might be having some issues with her charger. So I'll wait for her to come on. But I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions. And you can unmute yourself and yeah, come through. And also, I'm really interested in how's everybody's month been so far, and how have you been experiencing this new moon? I mean, this full moon.
Well, my last 2 weeks haven't been that good health wise. So I'm just wondering maybe whether it could be because it has, when I look back from what you and your colleague was saying, it does stem for the past 2 weeks, and it seems like it's from the new moon to now, because
Right.
there's just been a lot of unexplained dizziness, feeling
Ah,
very, very weak, and I haven't had it before. And I know certain things happen during different times of the month with me, but this is a very unusual one. So I just wondered whether this particular energy was any different from any of the other
mm,
energies
mm, mm.
that have happened before.
Definitely this full moon, and it's interesting that it's such a small moon, but it's been a really, really powerful moon. And it's been a couple of other things have been going on at the same time. So one of the things was actually something my brother sent me information on, because I'd been saying to him that normally for me, during the full moon, I will have a night or two where I can't sleep. I'm not worried about anything, but there seems to be all this extra energy, and I'm just lying in bed till 3:30, sometimes even 4 a.m. But for me, this month, it started really early. It actually started from about Monday, and he sent me information showing that there'd been some solar flares. Um, and one that there'd been some solar flares that started, I think, even from Sunday, but then there was one just yesterday or on Wednesday, and it was an interesting one because they called it a twin flame. There were these two solar flares that exploded at the same time, and they were so big that they actually put out some electricity and telephone, mobile phone um, tower information kind of things, were actually rendered out of action in America and some other parts of the earth that are on the same band. So it seems like the influence of the sun as well, especially if you imagine when you've got the full moon or coming to a full moon, you've got more and more of the moon facing the sun. So we've been getting the effects on our emotions, and then the sun is really our personality, and we're getting loads of effects as well on our personality. So I think it's been an interesting one because lots of people have found either they've got loads of synchronicity and good luck, and then the other side of it has also been challenging health. And before we came on, I actually had a conversation with a friend um, who phoned me up just to say that, yeah, she's also for her, it's been about the last 2.5, 3 weeks, really, really challenging. And I think it's really showing places where you need to look at your health. The
Mm.
sense that I'm getting is about cleansing,
Mm.
really, really going in and maybe doing a big cleanse. How how has your health been before this 2 weeks?
It's been okay.
Mm,
It's been fine, but I have noticed the past couple of years, but I haven't looked into it properly. But I do know certain times, I can't remember whether it's the new moon or the full moon, but one of them
mm.
can can affect me. I may get aches and pains. The other one's more on my mental state, so I don't know which one.
So
There's
mental
yeah.
states would
Mhm.
normally be the full moon.
Okay.
You know, I was saying before, the word lunatic
Mm,
literally
mm.
means the fact that yeah, you're you're so affected by the moon that your emotions are
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
But it's all information, because sometimes, especially as women, we're sitting on our emotions, we're pushing it down. And then actually in the full moon, that's the time that we can't, we're being honest for a change. So it's always good to look at what is it that's coming up. But health wise, I think one thing that's been going on is, as the changes in the planet and planetary forces are coming through, we're all being challenged to go the next step in our health journey. Whether people are really feeling it actively or not, it seems that the world, we're all being challenged to look at,
Definitely.
yeah,
Mhm.
consumption of meat, consumption of things that we know that are not good for us, sugar. Um, Everybody's having it on their mind more and more and more, because actually our bodies and our essence is is becoming stronger, and so it's demanding of us to make the changes.
Mhm. Did you want to ask? Did you time your journey back to Ghana? And congratulations as
Thank
well.
you, thank
Very
you.
jealous. But you need. I think it's going to be good you doing it over there rather than here. It'll be
Mm,
a big difference, won't they?
yeah.
Um, did you time that around the stars, the moon? Did you actually use that as an influence at all?
So half and half. So it was really interesting because the rest of the family are flying out around the 16th, 17th, 18th. And I knew I wanted to be there kind of ahead of everybody to get everything sorted. So, but then as soon as I started looking at the calendar, it completely made sense to fly on the 10th, because then I would still be within the new moon cycle, but also because praying while you're in the air is really, really, really good. It's You're higher up, and you're actually, like, you're crossing portals as you're up in the air. And you're also, if you think of a bird, you're naturally having a bigger vantage point. A bird can see an accident on a road about to happen minutes before it happens, because it can see this car's coming and that car's coming. So for us human beings, the same way spiritually, being up in the air is good for us. For doing our prayers, you're escalating anything you want to let go of and anything you want to bring in. So once I realized, yeah, I want to go before everybody, and I saw, if I go a week before, I'll actually be within the new moon band. And then thinking, new moon, and being able to do some prayers up in the air, it all made sense that I should actually go to Ghana, definitely, a week before the rest of the family fly out, and knowing as well that I'm going to be doing so much planning and preparation for everybody. It all collided to be, yes, definitely new moon time. The intention is going to be all about doing everything that's needed for the funeral, and doing everything that my mum would have wanted, because that's the kind of person she was. So it all coalesced to be perfect.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, Akua. You saw your mum's funeral, and then yeah, partly it
Yeah.
coincides. I remember going to one of your workshops, and I think it had just happened a few days before when it was at the other place
Yes,
in
yes, yes, yes. She
mhm.
died the day before.
Right, that's it.
African spiritual
That's
practices.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, and she's definitely been with me in spirit ever since, for sure, for sure, for sure. So yeah, this is an exciting time for us and the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
family. Sorry, just 1 second. I, mm. Okay, thank you. Oh, apparently Sarah's waiting to get on the Zoom. So let me let her in. Admit all. Okay, they're coming in. Sarah and Valerie. Hi, guys. Welcome in. I'm so sorry. It was underneath the screen sharing thing that shows me people are waiting to come in. So I
Oh
didn't
my
see the.
God, I've been waiting for 10 minutes. I was stressing
Yeah, I
out.
didn't, I couldn't see you under the band. Oh, hi, Valerie. So, Valerie, you will get the recording as well. So, welcome, welcome, Sarah. I just opened up for people to share some experiences, and then you can tell everybody about, the rituals for this particular
Yeah,
funeral.
no worries. I was so stressed.
That's right. So was anybody else going to share? How have you found this full moon? Let's hear some other voices. How have you found this full moon? Just unmute and start speaking.
Hi, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, it's Paula here. To be fair, it's the first time I've been to one of your ceremonies, so it's all very new to me. But I've been following the moon phases for a while, and funny enough, when I think it was Mel that said it yesterday, I was on my computer and I was doing fine and nothing. I've been doing a lot of work, and I just felt this intense, and this was last night. It was this intense feeling and dizziness, just
Yeah.
very much out of character. And I was just like, what is this? What is this? And it was just like, it felt like cotton wool really pressing against me. And then this dizziness, and it was just in my head,
Mm.
and it lasted for about a minute. I mean, a minute can seem a long time when you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, what's happened? And then when you talked about the solar flares, um, I don't know how we find out about those information, but I think it's possible. I don't know. That's what that was my experience with it yesterday.
Very
But
unnerving, isn't it, Paula? Because
oh, it
mine was
is.
intense yesterday and the day before, so it probably coincided with what was going on.
Yeah, it was because I was literally sitting where I'm sitting now,
Mm.
and my head was, because if I was standing up or if I was outside, I would have fallen.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the power of the moon.
Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah, I get it every full moon and every new moon.
No
And it's
way.
what made me start observing the phases. And before I used to think it was funny, because I think, oh, what is it? New moon or full moon? And I would get this. Um, the only way I can describe it is like many fingers almost inside my head, kind of going a bit like that, just kind of there, and then sometimes a bit of dizziness accompanied with it. And it's like, oh, okay, what is it, full moon or new moon? And then last year I just thought, I'm going to really get into this, because there's obviously something pulling on something or calling
Mm,
attention. So yeah, and when I first told my brother I was getting these feelings, he was just like, just say thank you, and I want to know more. And so I
Oh,
started,
wow.
yeah, you know,
Because I was
say
going to say, how did
no
you
more.
I mean, because I know I have an app for the moon phases. I don't follow it. I mean, I go in and out of phrases when I follow it. So are you saying then, because it's the first time it's ever happened so intense, I've never had that before. So is this something that I can expect?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
and
Thanks,
as long as
definitely.
Sarah.
you're
Yeah,
open to it,
no,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Purely because with the full moon, the energy of the full moon is the biggest energy that you're going to get throughout the whole month. It can start 2 to 3 days before the full moon even comes out. And that's where the term the lunar cycle comes in, because that's what the name lunatics come from,
Hmm.
because it sent people crazy. Because what the energy does, because where the universe and obviously it's a big blank canvas with the moons and the planets and stuff going around, our actual planet is moving, so the water is moving, we're made of water, so our body's moving, our immune system's moving, everything that we eat and drink is moving in our body. So a lot of people around the full moon can suffer from dizziness, they can suffer from mental health, they can suffer from stomach aches, really bad migraines. It does really affect your body. But this is the time that when you are feeling like that, this is the time to get in tuned with your body. It's signs of stuff that you need to work on. So everything that's been affecting you and all the stresses and everything to the full moon, it's affected you. So this is the time to release. Once you get in a rhythm with the lunar cycle and the new moon, and trust in the process, and most of all, and I will put it out there, most of all is being true to yourself. That is when the cycle of the full moon will change, because you will stop feeling like that, because you've opened yourself up, you've opened up your mind. Because it's really, really important that when you start understanding your body and you start understanding your surroundings, that's when your mind will change. This is where you open up. This is where your third eye will open, your chakras will open, and then you can go more and more into detail with what you want to work on.
And
Thank you,
can you
sir.
tell us about,
Does
oh, sorry.
sorry, just quickly,
Mhm.
what about somebody I who was it? Was my cousins was saying that if you fast during one particular part of the phases, it can help, but I'm not too sure which part of the
Yeah,
phase or
no, that's
if
true.
Mm.
mhm,
Yeah,
with regards to getting rid of the parasites, because apparently they go mad around the full moon as well in your
yeah.
body.
A lot
Right.
of different cultures, especially tribal cultures, when especially a medicine person,
Mm.
they will definitely fast, and they will encourage their tribes or their community to do exactly the same thing, because everything is heightened. So by fasting, drinking lots and lots of fluid, because you want that water to go back into your body,
Mhm.
will stop the dizziness. It will stop it will prevent the parasites. It will stop migraines, because you're getting that fluid into your system. It's unbelievable what the full moon can actually do to your body. But that's where you've got to understand it and do what's best for you and what works for you. But that is a true fact in regards to the fasting.
Mm.
So is it possible then the feeling, I mean, as I said, I mean, I've been in over the last 2 weeks, I've been doing a lot of self work and kind of like clearing and releasing stuff. So is that possible why I felt it so intensely? Because I mean, yeah, I mean, I was dealing with shit from December. I mean, it was intense. So when you said that it was an intense time in December, then yeah, that's true. And I said this to someone yesterday, this month has been my new year, really, in that sense. This is when I can do anything. So is it, so the more I work on myself and more that I am more authentic or true to myself, I may not have that intense feeling, or will I still?
No, it will go.
Is it?
It will go because
Also,
where
yeah, sorry, carry on.
no, go on, Akua.
No, because what I was going to say is it will change and transform, because it's sort of like, I remember the first time I felt the feeling in my head. I was on the train and I didn't know what was going on, and thank goodness, in our family I had my brother to text and tell him what was happening to me, and then he texted me back and he was like, oh, it's your crown chakra. Your crown chakra has been activated. What I learned later, as it happened more often, was, oh, the phases of the moon are activating my crown chakra. So once you know, it feels different because you know what's going on. I mean, definitely
Okay.
though, I will say this month's activity has been the strongest I've ever known it to be. I've never even felt an eclipse as much as I felt this last week. So I think
Right.
it's definitely, even for me, it's definitely not normally this strong. Like I was saying, I might have a sleepless night on the full moon and the day before, but I've never had sleepless nights that's gone on like I've had 3 in a row, and yet in the daytime I'm fine, even though I'm not falling asleep till 4
Mm.
in the morning. I don't normally get it that intense. I had headaches this time. I don't even ever get headaches. So
Mm.
it's not always going to be as strong as this one. But now you know, you can just really be in thanks and look at, okay, how can I clean my system more for more
Mm.
information to come in?
Excellent.
Yeah, I think the best way to work on a full moon when you are feeling a bit run down, or where your body's feeling a little bit low, this is where it's time to obviously release and balance your body out, because the more you balance out, the more it can open you up, and finding time to express our feelings, because a lot of us around this time will hold on to so much stuff that we don't even want to say to people. We don't want to upset people, or we don't want to upset colleagues, or but this is the time to learn about yourself, expressing our hidden emotions,
Mm.
because that is when you will open up your feelings, your challenges, and it's beneficial to you for your mental well-being, to reduce the stress and to reduce the health, like your health, is to open up, be true to yourself. It's the most important thing you could ever do in your life, and that is be true to yourself and do what you want to do. Obviously there's certain things that you know in life, especially with family members, that you just do things to please people or to make people happy, and you don't want to hurt feelings, but you have to put yourself first. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, look, I'm having a bad couple of days, I'll speak to you in a few days time. um the full moon is about working on yourself, your well-being, your health, everything, because you are releasing, you are letting go. So it is a really, really important time of the month, really.
So could you tell us about some of the rituals that we should be doing, kind of like tonight, really, tonight and tomorrow?
Yes. So it is a long process, because there is so many things that you can do in regards to rituals. So when working with the rituals itself, it's how can I put it? It's changing in the regions of your mind. So you're working on your consciousness. A lot of people don't do rituals. They don't. A lot of people will just do things to help with their well-being, that will make them feel good, which is great. but to work on your consciousness, to work on ways to communicate with the spirits, or be deep within your power, within yourself, is to do rituals. And by doing that, for this particular cycle itself, the doing tarot cards is a good one to do. Another one to do is, which I've spoken about, is, which is classed as a ritual, is expressing your feelings without shadow of a doubt. That's how simple these rituals can be. It could be running a bath with salts or bubble bath, anything to clear your mind. You can just do. Again, that's classed as a ritual. You can make yourself a little altar today. I've got one here which I've set up. It's just for me to work on later on this evening. So I've got my spell candles, which I make every full moon and every new moon. So I work with them on a.
Could you tell us how to make our own spell candle?
So yeah, so all it is getting any type of jar. It doesn't have to be anything small. You could have a big jar. You could even have one of your jars that you had Dormio sauce in. Wash it out. It could be anything. Give it a good cleanse, and all depending on where the lunar cycle is. It's best to do your jars on a full moon or new moon. It's finding out what moon it is, then Googling and having a look. I mean, I've got herbal books, so I use those, but you can actually Google certain herbs to represent the moon, or to represent how you're feeling. And then what you would do, you would visualize while you're holding the herbs, just visualize what you want from it. And then you would add the herbs in. And then once you've done that, you will then pick crystals, like little chips of crystals, or if you've got a big chunk of crystal that you want to put in to represent what type of spell bottle you want to make. Put that in a jar. You could even put a jar, write on a little bit of paper. If it's for manifestation or luck or wealth, you could put money, or you could put prosperity. Anything you want to put, you could, with your handwriting, you could put in. Once you've done that, you will completely seal the jar itself, and you would hold the jar for about 10 minutes in your hand, meditating to what it is that you want to put into your jar. And then all you do is that you put it in your house that's furthest away from your front door. And it sounds really strange, but anything to do, like if even your like crystals to do with abundance and wealth, you'd always put it to the left hand corner of your face, to bring in that what you're searching for in that particular space. Once you finish, once you feel like that spell jar has worked, you can either open it up, burn your herbs and keep your crystals, cleanse them and reuse them. Or for me personally, I always keep my spell jars, because what I do, I will put them out this evening, put them out into overnight in my garden, and I will reuse them. Because where I make 5 different certain spell jars, I will work on what's relevant to me at that point. And then if you feel like you want to bury your spell jar in your garden or anywhere in the soil outside, you can bury it, because you've set it in stone. It's worked, it's done its job. You put it away where nobody can find it. And so that's the type of spell jars you can do, but you don't have to go, you know, into that deeply. And on my altar as well, I've got moon water that I made on the last full moon. So with the water itself, you would put a bottle of water out again, like you would your crystals, like you would with anything you want cleansing. put it outside, leave it overnight, but bring it in before the sun rises or just as it's rising. You bring it in, and you can use your moon water to drink, because the energy of the moon that month, you put it into your system. It's like a cleanser. You can water your plants. You can make like the following day after the full moon, obviously the third day is really, really good to pour into your bath, because you're cleansing your bath. You're having a nice little ritual in your bath. So they're good to make. I've got loads
I
of
didn't realize, sorry, Sarah, when no, I didn't realize you had to take them in before the sun rose. So I've often left them to have moon and a bit of sun as well.
Yeah,
I bring them in after.
I would bring,
Okay.
yeah, I would bring them in purely because where in the night time the moon's really heightened and the energy's heightened, it's done its job. What you don't want is to leave it out too much, because it will curdle. So you would bring them in. The only one that I would say to leave in the jar for a full cycle, if you wanted to, which is another ritual, is to make Florida water. And Florida water is a good one because spiritually it's really good. A lot of tribes use it. Everyone that works in that spiritual kind of way will use Florida water because it's a cleanser.
So you need something else to make the smells and everything, don't you, for Florida water?
Yeah.
So
So with Florida water, what you could do is you could get another, like you would a spell bottle, you'd get a jar, any type of jar that you can seal. And then what you do is, if you want to make a big pot of it, you'd make a few to last you, because once you've done the lunar cycle, you want that to sort of last the month. But it all depends. So you would use, for me, I normally use the cheapest vodka, the cheapest. And I would do 6 cups of vodka in a cup. I would do half a cup of seagrass, herbs, dry herbs. I would use half a cup of lavender, half a cup of sage, and I'd use half a cup of cedar, and I'll put it all together in this jar, or divide it into how many jars that I want to make. I would put it out on the full moon, and again, like you would with your water, you bring it in the morning if you wanted to, like first thing in the morning, about 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock, bring it in. And what you would do, you would leave them in room temperature for the whole month, for the whole lunar cycle. Once you've done that, you would open it up and you would then strain it. So all the herbs and everything, goes into your container, or if you wanted to use any type of strain. Some people use material that you could just pour it in and just let the water run through. Pour it in a spray. That's your Florida water. You can spray it around your room. You can use it to cleanse your face. You can use it to wash all your doors down. Washing your doors down, your front door, with Florida water is so effective, because you're cleansing that negative energy away, especially when people are in and out of your home. And with you bringing in daily stresses, that's really, really good, because it puts like a shield at your front door, same as what black tourmaline would do. It just puts that shield. Also, you could make Florida water, but in a type where it doesn't need to be a spray. It could be a hot drink. So it's basically a hot drink that you could make, but similar to what you would do with Florida water. But this time you would boil it for half an hour.
Thank you.
So again, there's different ways that you could do that. You would choose a couple of fresh herbs, oranges, lemons, lavender, put it all into a pot, simmer it for half an hour. Once you've done that, you can then strain it and then use that as a drink. That's another ritual to do. The rituals just go on. You could do candle magic. You could just sit there with a white candle and sit there while you are journaling and while you are writing down everything you want to release, while your tea light, just your normal little tea light, light that before you do anything. And then what you do is you set your intentions just in your space. Make sure it's cleansed before you do anything. You cleanse your space because you want any stagnant negative energy away from that area. Light your candle, sit there for a couple of minutes, visualize what you want to release. Write it down on a journal or just on a scrap bit of paper. And once you've done that, then you can write on a separate bit of paper what you are grateful for, your gratitude list. So what you have been grateful for the month. You would fold that up and you would burn it. So whatever you want to release after you've done it, once your candle has gone out by itself, you have to let your candle go out by itself. So while it's burning, you've written out your rituals, you've written out what you are grateful for, and you burn it. Once you've burnt your release letter, you then throw it out to the universe. Just throw it. You can either put it into the grass or into any soil that you've got, even in your plants if you wanted to. But I normally just throw mine out the window. I normally burn it by the window and I throw it out to the universe. And I give thanks. I thank the universe. And then maybe I would put, again, all depending on what mood you are in or what you want to do. Sometimes I'll throw a little bit of bread for the birds as a thank you to the universe, a few seeds, or I might leave the moon water and then I will throw it out in the morning to the universe as a gratitude, as thanks for what I've released. The other things that you could do is by writing down a list of things that you want to plan for the week. Again, it's another ritual that you would work on when you write your gratitudes, is just sit there and write a list of what's been playing on your mind for the month and what you're going to do to change it. And again, read it out loud 3 times. Everything's done in threes. So you would read it out 3 times and then you'd put it away. Put that one away. You could even put it with your new moon affirmations that you've done and combine it together. So when it's the next cycle, you can burn them together. So everything you've worked on in the previous month, if it's worked, you can still use that. Like anything you are letting go of today, you can still use that same letting go next month. It doesn't have to be changed. It can still be the same one that you want to work on. So if it's something big, you do it every single month until you see a change. It doesn't have to be anything different. I work on the same thing until I know it's complete. Yeah. Then I will move on to something else. Making crystal grids and working with crystals is another one, is another ritual to do. So my altar at the minute has got my spell jars, my crystals, my sage, my candles. I've even got my box with my cards in, tarot, empowerment cards. I also work with herbal cards as well. So the one I pulled out this morning was cinnamon. Cinnamon is all about prosperity. Yeah. And it's funny because that's what I've been working on since Christmas. So it was nice that that came out for me. So there's lots of different rituals. All the rituals you do, when you sit there and think about it, is all to do with your well-being. It's about you. It's about what everyone does things differently. So anything you do for yourself today and tonight is classed as a ritual.
Can I ask, sorry, Sarah, can I ask, your table with the crystals, is it true that some crystals shouldn't be near others? I never know what to put on. I've got my crystals, but I never know if they're working for me or against me, even though I've chosen them because they resonated with me, but I don't know if they're supposed to be together, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know, because some crystals can't be mixed together. So you wouldn't put, for example, I wouldn't work with like shungite. I wouldn't work with that with green aventurine. It's just certain crystals you cannot mix together because they're the opposite of each other. You want to have crystals that resonates with each other for what you want. So if you're like for today, for example, I will just go through, for me, what's on my table is selenite, because selenite is a cleanser of energy. It's a cleanser of negative energy. It cleanses your crystals. It cleanses your room. It's an element of water. So it's a very calming crystal that really eases like anxiety. It promotes emotional balance. It enhances intuition, psychic ability. So it's really, really good, especially when you're meditating tonight as well. If you are doing like a candle ritual, you'd meditate. It's really, really good to have around you, plus cleansing your crystals. Then I've got a rose quartz. So rose quartz is it's a stone of love. Through everything that I've been dealing with, and obviously you want to release, you want to have compassion for yourself. So rose quartz is really, really good, because what you want compassion for yourself, but you still want to have compassion for other people as well at the same time. It promotes forgiveness. It helps with giving gratitude for what we've got in our life, and what's to come, because you want to bring more love in. And the other one I've got, which is my favorite crystal, is black tourmaline. And black tourmaline is it's a connection between earth and the human spirit. Black tourmaline, it aids in removing negative energy in a person and within your space. It promotes a sense of power, self-confidence, anxiety and any stresses, and plus it eliminates the EMF raises in your home. So any technology, any phones, mobile phones, telly, computer, laptops, it blocks the stagnant energy that comes from it. I've got a piece of black tourmaline above every single door frame in my house because it shields against negativity. So I've got a bigger piece by my front door, because everyone that comes in, like my kids, my husband, me, it will block any negative fields that are coming through. And then I've got a nice one above my front, my bedroom, because what I don't want to go to bed with anything playing on my mind. So it will shield any negativity that's going into your bedroom while you sleep. Another one I've got two bits actually, is the clear quartz. Clear quartz is your master healer. So with that, it gives you a lot of benefits with your health, with everything you've been dealing with, because of the emotion of the way the moon affects your body. Clear quartz is a master healer. It helps you balance through your chakras, through your body. So that's another one to have. So them four crystals are the main crystals that I've got on my table, and it represents the moon on this day. Different crystals on different moon phases will change. But you can always look up, if you wanted to work with a rose quartz, for example, you can always Google what crystals are best used for rose quartz, and it will tell you. It will just give you all them, because when you mix your crystals with each other, it enheightens the energy. Good to work with maybe 2 or 3. If you wanted to work with more, you can. But whatever crystal you choose to pick on what resonates with you, then you can have a look up. You can look up and you can see what crystals resonate with that. But yeah, you have got to make sure that you do your research on your crystals, because some, again, with cleansing crystals, some can't be washed, some can't be put in salt, Some can only be cleansed through the full moon. And yeah, it's the same with mixing crystals. You can't, because the energy will just bounce off each other and they're not going to do nothing for you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
No problem.
Anybody else want to share an experience or ask a question? I think Noel, you've unmuted. Did you want to share an experience or ask a question? Or maybe he's always been unmuted. Yeah, maybe. So
Another thing to do as well is to work with your cacao.
yeah.
If you like cacao, that's another spiritual drink that you would use on a full moon. It's a beautiful chocolate drink, but a lot of people around the world use cacao. It's just such a beautiful drink to have. But if you haven't got that, you can make your own herbal tea.
Yeah.
Again, with just herbs that you could just sieve, and just have the drink, whatever full moon phase it would be, or again, what your favorite flavors are, anything to do with your well-being that will boost you up and boost your immune system up, that is still classed.
And I think with cacao, I'll give a recipe actually, because it's so easy, to make. So with cacao, you would get the cacao nibs or even hot chocolate, but it would be good to use like a dark bitter one that's not got any sugar in already. And you add hot water. You can add some milk as well, but traditionally it would just be hot water. You add a little bit of rose water, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and you drop in a cinnamon stick. And the whole time while you're stirring it, so if you're using real cacao nibs, it can get quite thick. So that's how you want it. But if you're using cocoa powder, it doesn't get so thick, which is still fine. But you're always stirring in your intention. So if you're drinking it for the new moon, for the full moon, sorry, then for me, it's really about letting go, self-forgiveness, thinking about what's been happening over the last 28 days. What do I need to let go of? What things have come in this full moon, as different things that are coming in that I've used to learn about myself. I'm letting those things go and I'm asking for certain things to stay with me. So as I said before, because I'm not so good at the details, I'm much better at the bigger plan. Now we've been in Virgo, I've been really a lot more observant because I know I can gain from Virgo things that aren't always with me. So tonight when I do my hot chocolate, I'm going to be giving a lot of thanks for the lessons that I've been learning this month. Some of the difficult conversations, I'll be giving a lot of thanks, and I'll also be projecting into the future stuff to do with planning, stuff to do with crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I'm projecting myself in the future as having gained from this full moon. I will be a person who looks at the details. I will be somebody who makes sure that all the small things are done. For me, those are the two things that I am taking from this energy that I want to keep with me for the rest of the year. So that's what I'm going to be giving thanks for.
And that's exactly what you would do, Akua. Yeah. Exactly that. Whatever you do, whatever ritual you do, is all about releasing and gratitude. Definitely gratitude, because it is about giving thanks for what you have in life. It's really important to, no matter what your stresses are, a lot of people think of the negative things all the time, but for you to really connect with the moon phases is to come out of that and to begin to be more grateful for what you have more than negativity. The more positive you think on a daily basis, the better, and the more you open up in that spiritual world. Being grateful, even before you go to bed each night, just lay down while your conscious is going, before you actually fall asleep. Give thanks for the day you've had, for the good things. It could only be one. It might only be one, but just give thanks for that one thing. And then once you start doing that process and waking up, and you wake up and go, oh, thank you for waking up. I'm so grateful. Once you start doing that and planting them seeds, the more you will open up.
Yeah.
And everything starts falling into place.
Yeah, so true. So when you were speaking before, I used the Moonlight Oracle cards. I really, really love these ones. It's so interesting. And the artwork is just so moody and dreamy, kind of really, I don't know, it's like a film. So I picked a card, I shuffled while you were speaking, and I picked a card, and it's actually called Book. I have to find where the camera is. It's a weird place. Ah, yeah, I'm in the middle. Yay. So it's called Book. So I'm going to read what it says. So card 26, Book. So it's actually equivalent to the 10 of Diamonds in tarot. And it says, Book, secrets, knowledge, education, information, research, studies. One of the more simpler cards in the deck. The book is representative of knowledge, education, and learning. It is also associated sometimes with secrets and truth, things that can be discovered with the aid of knowledge. Some interpretation also includes secret knowledge or esoteric knowledge. What is written within a book's pages are sometimes not yet discovered by the reader, and it is only through research and study that one can access truth. So I think that's a really good one for us today, the book. And I love these cards because on the back, each one of them has got the moon. And I like to have a lot of things with the moon on it, just to kind of, yeah, be in the presence of something. So in our last kind of like 9 minutes before 2 o'clock, I just want to open it up to the floor again. Anybody got any questions or something that they would like to share? Just unmute yourself, and I'm going to put it on gallery view. You don't have to turn on your camera, but just so we're all in the same space a bit. Yeah, what does anybody would like to say or share?
Just say thank you, really, because it's been really insightful, because you can always think that you know a lot, and then and I'm in that space where I'm starting to relearn, refresh myself of what I've already known. So I just say thank you to both yourself and Sara for today, because it was really, really helpful, and I really love the idea of because funny enough, last year, I considered making my own Florida water. So it was really good that you mentioned about the Florida water.
Yeah.
And I love the spell jar. Before, it used to really freak me out, to hear about spells and stuff, because it just took my mind into a different
A
place.
different place, yeah.
Yeah, so I love the idea. My place is not massive, so but I can find a service part. But just your view, because I don't have a private garden, I have a communal garden. So if you don't, and I don't trust my windowledge to leave anything out. So it's okay to just leave stuff by the window, right?
Definitely. Anything, crystals, anything to do with the Florida water, just leave. If you've got like a little table or even like a little foldable chair or anything, I would make sure that your windows are like your curtains are open, because what you want to do is the moon to actually fall through your window onto them. But once that's done with the Florida water, you can put that anywhere in the house, as long as it's a room temperature for the full cycle of the moon.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate it today.
That's all right, no
Thank
problem.
you.
But I just want to just clarify that with regards to spell jars or any rituals or anything you do, please don't think it's anything to do with witchcraft or anything like that. The whole purpose of rituals, anything to do with herbs, anything to do with making things and being creative, is all for your self well-being.
I think it's just how we've all been brainwashed, actually, because just like you, Paula, I thought, oh my gosh, this is EGBG, it's inviting negative energy and all this madness.
Yeah.
But it's not been done for centuries, and we've been made to think we shouldn't be doing this.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's
but can you
thing, like with
no, sorry,
that's all right. Go on.
I can't remember. It's gone now. It'll come back. You carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so yeah, it's just about not being frightened. I mean, a lot of people do, like for me personally, I will go into my candle spell work quite in depth. I will do spell work. I will say certain spells within my setting. But obviously a lot of people don't want to because they are scared. They do get frightened. But everything that we've spoke about today is nothing to do with witchcraft whatsoever. It's got nothing to do with anything that's going to bring in any negativity towards you, anything. It's all about doing things for you and making you feel better.
And witchcraft doesn't necessarily mean bad. We were told that the witches were bad, and look what they did. The witches were all about healing, but they made us think that they were evil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I prefer to use the word witchcraft, to reclaim that word, because it's not a negative. It's the craft of Wicca.
That's right.
That's all it is. It's the craft.
And that's exactly what witches were burnt for. A lot of witches were burnt and hung because what they were doing is that they were bringing a lot of positivity and healing to people. And a lot of people, like the tax man and like the kings and the queens and people of authority, wanted to put the scaremonger in you. So they didn't want any positivity. It's the same with today, with the government today. They're dangerous. So everything that you're doing at the moment is for you and you only. And it's about bringing and not listening to everything you hear on the news and stuff like that, because for centuries it's always been that way. People with authority will always bring negativity to you. So it's witchcraft was all about, and witches were all about bringing that healing to people and bringing that magic. So, you know, to bring positivity into the world, and they got sacrificed for it.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Totally. No, that's really true. So we've got 3 minutes. Valerie, do you want to say anything? I will get the recording to you because I know you missed a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, it was yeah, it's good to hear some of it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll send that to you as soon as we come off. And apologies because we had the projector on, the names were hidden underneath, so I didn't realize when Sara were waiting to get in. So yeah,
I understand.
Yeah.
What I will do, because I'll do it for a minute. What I will do, I will just give you just certain examples, only about 5 different examples of things that you can write down later if you want some extra help, if you've got a pen and paper, because like I said, it does sometimes it's a little bit difficult to think about things you want to let go of. So for just examples, just while we've got an extra minute, you could write down, I'm very proud of everything that I have achieved in my life so far. That'd be number 1. With each full moon, I release old patterns that no longer serve me. You could write down, I am ready to release all negativity and welcome positivity into my life. I trust the divine, and I know that everything is unfolding for me exactly how it should be. I let go of past hurt and embrace healing and forgiveness instead. I am grounded and connected to the earth's energy. I am a creative force of nature, and I have the power to create what I desire. I am constantly growing, evolving, and becoming a better version of myself. I am the creator of my own life. So these are certain things. Oh my God. These are certain things that you could, just examples of things that you can have. But if you want to send me a message, I can send you a whole list of things that you could use every single month. That's not a problem at all. I can send you a big list.
Yeah, because you went through those quite quickly because I only got half of what you were saying, some of them, half a sentence. So I'm thinking, dear God, she talks quicker than me.
So
email.
I've got about 40. I've got about 40 different things that you can use on different moon cycles. Yeah, so I've got that. So yeah, if you want to put me a message, I'll send that over.
Actually, Sarah, if you send it to me, I'll email it to everyone who was
Yeah.
on the call. Yeah, so I'll email it.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Valerie, I can see you've got your hand up.
Can I ask Akua how, because you said you've really started getting into it the last couple of weeks, couple of years.
Yeah.
Sorry, Valerie.
Sorry, Valerie. Sorry, Mel, I couldn't hear the rest of the sentence. Say it again.
Sorry. Yeah, you said it's just been about a year or two since you've really started how has it changed or enhanced your life?
I think for me, I was always do until I couldn't do anymore, and then I'd crash. And it was like I wouldn't allow myself rest. And the kind of constant guilt doing enough was a really, really big thing for me. I always had this feeling like I should be achieving more, should be doing more, should have done more. It was really constant. And I don't even know what, do you know what? I think it's during lockdown was because, I'm a seamstress. So lockdown, no one's having a dress made. And that forced period to rest, and I started making jewelry. I think for me, lockdown was the first time I started to just go with a natural energy of how things should be. And it was the first time my meditation was through the roof during lockdown. It was the first time I really started paying proper attention to the feelings that was full moon and new moon. So it was from then, and it's gradually got more and more and more until about sort of 2 years ago, where it started being a lot more. And I think for me, it's taken away a lot of negative self-talk that I had about how I used to think I wasn't being productive enough. That's been the biggest thing. And I would say I still don't rest enough. Like, it's still the thing that I'm really like always having to plan in the dark moon phase, the straight after the moon phase, full moon phase, where I should be, not, yeah, I'll meet you here and da, 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 da. It's not that you can't do those things. It's just for me, I know that I wasn't spending, and still probably not spending, enough time in the downtime which you really need. So I think for me, that's been the biggest difference. Definitely the whole of last year, I did not have a single one of those crash and burns where I just can't do anything because I've done too much. And that's a big thing for me, for sure.
That's good, thank you. And where did you where did you get those moonology cards? What's the name of it? That particular one.
This particular one is Moonlight Night, and I'll send details. I sell this one, and I sell moonology cards, and I don't sell the massive cards because they're a little bit more expensive. I sell kind of like the slightly smaller cards. So these are like 20, and then I have like I've got loads of different kinds of cards. I've got ones that are just kind of this size, but I'll send a list as well of all the cards. So I've got cards that are like 850 and stuff, but I'll send a list of the cards and then pictures of what they look like on the inside. But I find oracle cards I really like for daily pullouts. I've got tarot cards as well, and I sometimes pull out tarot cards, but I like pulling out oracle cards just for a one day or a specific thing reading. So for this one that we had, the book, I think I'll still keep this one for tonight, my meditations. But normally what I would do is after I've made the hot chocolate, I will pull out a card as well. And that's what I would be meditating on. But I'll send through a list. Anything anybody wants, I can send to you. The same thing with Sara and crystals as well.
Thank you. Do you both have your email addresses?
I
can
will
see your...
put mine in the chat.
Okay.
I feel like maybe everybody's got my email address, but not necessarily, is it?
Yeah, I've got I will send mine over to you, Akua. I've got on my underneath my video of me, I've got Mineral Serenity, so that's my Instagram account. You can get hold of me there anytime with any questions you have regarding crystals. I can send you videos of certain crystals that you want. I can send all information regarding on certain crystals that you can mix with each other, what crystals, how to look after your crystals. But I'll send Akua my email address, my Mineral Serenity one as well, so you can have that.
So brilliant. We've just gone past 2, so we've done well today. I'm going to bring this to a close, and so our next one will be for the new moon, and Sara and I have got a chat tomorrow because she's going to go off to work soon, and I will send through the dates for when we'll do the new moon one. But I'd just like to say thank you very much. This is our first one online, so thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you everyone for coming on. I really hope it was helpful.
Yes, it really was. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Sending lots of healing and love to you all.
Yes, lots of healing love to everybody on this special.
And please remember, today, take time out for yourself. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Bless you. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Good luck with your packing.
Thank you. Thank you. Follow me.